Hey cuties! Welcome back to another playthrough of Chapter 15 from Housamo's main quest. We'll be continuing off from yesterday, and we'll be finishing off the next two episodes. Let us hop right in. As per usual, let me know if there's any sound issues, and I always get to see you, Hoon-chan. Right on the dot. But yes. As a quick summary from where we last left off, there was a two-pronged attack from the rule makers in terms of abducting people and what's it called, killing the exception Kyoma or something like that. Oh my gosh, that's Cutie! It's the Cutie mob! It's the world mob. It's the world deity. I love him. I love him. And anyways, it's a tall map. it's a tall map, and what's it called? Just mobs, I guess. There might be some special units here. Not entirely sure who they are. Welcome, Wolfstar and Scarlet. I think you're new, and Lynn. We will be achieving a higher state of being for this first part. Let's go ahead and hop right in. There is a coin bonus, so if there's no ally point bonus here, we'll just go ahead and bring in party. Oh, no, there is. Oh, that's a lot of trash units to become. What's with this garbage? And why is Ibaraki relevant all of a sudden? And why is Marchosios being remembered? I mean, these units aren't great, but let's go with Tsukiomi, I guess. So, we will go ahead and bring our ally point booster team, as per usual, because that's very important. Not really, but whatever. And yeah, other than that, to reiterate what else happened, it seems that they're brainwashing, not real brainwashing, but more like implanting memories of the future to make them into gods, which seems to be in relation to also damning them in some way, according to Mikhail. And so it seems they happened to break out because Bohemia was so based. Bohemia was the best character in this game. Alright, let's proceed. Oh yeah, Nick is brainwashed. The other world of Takamagahara is overseen by three siblings of the highest nobility. This would be Amaterasu, Susano, and I actually don't know who the third person is. Oh, Tsukiyomi, I guess? I don't know. The elder brother, Tsukiyomi, is in charge of Takamagahara's knights and its underworld. The elder sister, Amaterasu, is in charge of Takamagahara's days and its skies above. Me! It's interesting how they use MC3 here. So there's like a passive acknowledgement there that MC3 is associated with Susano. It's not any MC body. And the younger brother, Susano, is in charge of everything else. When they were young, the three siblings lived in perfect harmony with one another. But then everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Though the elder sister never quite knew how to deal with the younger brother's precociousness. Meanwhile, the elder brother just watched on in amusement at his two floundering siblings, a huge smile on his face. But in any world boasting a multitude of beings, there is always a hierarchy. Someone must be on top, someone must be the pinnacle, and that someone must therefore also stand higher than the others. Canonical Body 3, yes, that's correct. This principle applies to the three siblings just as it does to anyone else. And it just so happens, the top position in the hierarchy was granted to the elder sister of the heavens, Amaterasu. From her position nearest that of a god, she looked down upon her homeland of Takamagahara. She could see farther than anyone, she could even see what it was she had to do, and what would occur as a result. This is a bit weird, isn't it? We're kind of learning exile backstories. Normally when we learn about the backstories of people, they're really like not directly related in exile fashion to us. The history of Takamagahara records that Amaterasu drove Susano from the world. And if one were to ask Amaterasu why she did such a thing, she would no doubt answer that she did because she understood it's what she was meant to do. And there would be no hesitation in her voice, for she would feel entirely just in that action to the very core of her being. Takamagahara's world representative, Amaterasu, one of the executive officers of the Chuo rulemakers. As she heads towards her post on the battlefield against the other two true guilds, a single transient practically gallops up to her. What's up, Amati? Don't see you around so often these days, so figured I'd pop in for a social. What do you want, Amano-Uzume? No, is that any way to talk to an old friend? Try to sound a little happier to see me. It's been a long time after all. Hey, Amati, you remember? Remember how we used to gorge ourselves around here? Big fan of her, huh? Yeah, she's voiced by Junko Enoshima, and her voice actor is quite peppy, from what I can tell. I like her. Hey, I'd sneak you out to the student council room, and we'd swing by the old crepe shop. Good times. You had this look on your face like it was your first ever time eating anything at all. It was so funny. I'll never forget it. Is that all, Amano-Uzume? You'll have to excuse me as I'm in a bit of a hurry. Hey, hold up! How come you're speaking to me all cold and distant-like? Hey, we're bestest buds, aren't we? We've been acting kind of weird for a while now, Amati. Is this about your little bro? Can't you just put that whole thing behind you already? Jeez. That's all water under the bridge. Besides, you're the older sister, so you can just do whatever you want anyway. There's no need for that petty old sibling rivalry anymore. You can just hang with your bestie, yo, and we'll have a grand old time. Amano-Uzume, you do not understand the situation. I bore a responsibility toward him as world representative of Takamahara first and foremost, over even our familial relation. And though some transgressions may be committed without even knowing it, ignorance too is a sin. Materasu averts her gaze from Amano-Uzume as she says this. The message behind this subtle act is crystal clear. It is an outright refusal. Well, guess you and I just stand on different stages now, Amati. Oh my god! They're backstabbing us. Well, not really, they're being crushed. There is no uncertainty in the attack. It is clearly and unambiguously done with malice of intent. It is a blatant act of repudiation. Huh? The members of the Mega Alliance all look bewildered and utterly crestfallen as the prospect of taking blows from their dear friends and guildmates they'd come all this way to rescue. Wait, did I say Ifrit for a second? Where was he suddenly? Why is he with us all of a sudden? Why are we being attacked? Have they all been brainwashed? Are Shira and the others like this too? To top it all off, two transients enter the scene from beyond the throng of friends come enemies, working their way through the crowd until they stand directly before you. Hey, it's these hoes. Finally! We have a chance to meet in this loop trophy. That's some good luck, don't you think? I'm Masashi Shinbei Inoue of the 8 Dog Warriors. Yeah, and this year's Nomichi Genpachi Inukai. We've been rightfully put in charge of this militia of accelerated Tokyo residents. It's a pleasure to make your acquaintance. Bow. Sashi Shinbei Inoue? Die! You need correction. No hesitation, I see. I wouldn't expect anything less from the great Arathan. However... Nobumichi Genpachi Inukai steps out of formation and instantly locks blades with you. He's so strong. Correction. Nobumichi Genpachi Inukai is the strongest among us dog warriors, and he serves as my personal bodyguard. Well, of course, if I can plan ahead for dangers like this, I'd hardly be known as a godlike prodigy of the future days, would I? Prodigy of future days? Militia of accelerated residents? What have you done with Jacob and the others? Have they been cursed or put under a spell? How have you thoroughly deceived them? Cursed? But under a spell? What kind of outmoded ideas are in your heads? This isn't the Invaders or the Warmongers chapter. It's an insult to your friends to think they'd fall prey to tactics like that. No. They're all here of their own free will. They decided this was their best course of action after learning certain things. And so here they are, standing against you. What certain things? What are you prattling on about, you brat? It's only natural you would understand. Higher beings encounter this sort of difficulty all the time. Damn brat. Much like how things look totally different from the spire of a castle than they do from the ground. If you see disaster coming from such a vantage point, you'll naturally pay no heed to those down below who say not to worry. There are just some choices that only make sense when you can see farther than anyone else. And we gave these Tokyo residents memories of the city's future. Memories of the future. Be they former companions, or even close enough to be called siblings. Oh, how cruel. How heartless it must seem to those lower beings they're cast aside. As they're cast aside. But if their shoe fits, I mean, when you're on a higher plane of existence, you're duty-bound to do what's best. And it's not like higher beings can explain their actions. You simply wouldn't understand. There are some things only those with a higher vantage point can know. That's just how it is. Very Rulemaker's philosophy. To instruct, to force their ideology, and to, push that on by authority without any sort of explanation. To put it in the simplest terms possible, those residents would have been exposed to the truth, stand on a different stage altogether. My fellow world representatives, we've come so far together. Amaterasu and her contingent stations themselves at the intersection where the encroaching forces of the warmongers and invaders converge. I need no explanation from any of you. It's perhaps most comforting not to hear any such excuses, in fact. The game we've all been playing till this very day shall soon be reaching its end. With us, the Chuo Rulemakers, emerging victorious, of course. The pleasantries drop there. Not another word is spoken. The only sounds that follow are those of world representatives clashing with one another. I suppose they've had enough to say over the course of several loops, so jumping directly into battle is a completely appropriate choice. It is to be expected that the world would look different from on high than it does from down in the dirt below. That's simply what it means to be superior. To peer down at it all from the highest position there is. So says Daikoku, who once occupied the seat Amaterasu now fills before being driven from it. That is the Tokyo Fire Station? Oh, Lord Daikoku, why have you come here? What a question. As police superintendent, who better is there to coordinate efforts with the fire department? Now then. You're just like talking about, are you calling him Tomato Face? Yeah, a bit, yeah. I am Daikoku, superintendent of the Shinjuku police. I'd like to report an incident near Tokyo Station, Commissioner Raven. I'm certain you have your hands full as it is, considering your noble efforts to avert disaster and stabilize this game. Shall I call you King Arthur, perhaps? Since you are so thoroughly entrenched in your dealings with the Game Masters. Yeah. That depends on if you'd prefer I address you not as Daikoku, but as Lord Okinunushi. Tokyo Fire Chief Raven responds coldly and unwaveringly, glancing away only for a moment to observe the look of surprise on his subordinate's face. Do forgive my rudeness. I did not come here to dig up our sundry pasts. I merely wish to ask you this directly. What do you think of the current situation? What do the Game Masters think? Your lodge is supposed to use Tokyo's Tower of Babel as a portal and work towards the continuance of this game. So as someone who sits at the highest point and looks down upon the world below, a king seeking your perspective. The other administrative branch, the Yorokucho Entertainers, have done the unthinkable and joined forces with the Player Guild. In response, the rule makers are forced to go one step beyond, taking measures that border on cheating to assert themselves. Yeah, what do the game masters say? If I recall, Superintendent Koku, you hold a bit of a grudge against Amaterasu of the Chua rule makers, no? So it occurs to me you might be seeking my help in hopes of driving her back. Oh, please do stop with the baseless suspicions. I've always advocated for fair adjudication. I simply have a vested interest, if you will, in learning what the game master's next move may be at this crucial stage is all. I mean, if they're not brainwashed, at least say something. So I'm like taken aback. I know we made a guild alliance, a mega alliance, but it's like seeing all these characters from the past, we're just casually with them and we didn't say hi to them at any point before. It's kind of throwing me for a whiplash. I guess literally everyone's just here. We just don't know they're there. What do we do? What can we do? What's the best move in this situation? Oh my god, it's cuties! Oh my god, give me this mob. Release the mob. Release the mob. As if being stopped in your tracks wasn't bad enough, a squadron of defenders aligned with the feature city rushes onto the scene. Its reinforcements. We're Lady Amaterasu's Imperial Guards. We're to capture the insurgents. Company, move out. He's so hot. A regiment of enemy troops breaks off from the others and begins hurriedly marching down directly towards you. This is bad. We can't hold out. The things just keep on getting worse too. Who this? Oh no, you seem to be in a spell of trouble. You alright there, Arathan? Who could this be? Is this the abducted Sanzo? Actually, Sanzo wouldn't know this. I don't know who this is. Oh, Tsukiyomi. So you weren't with us, but everyone else was. Okay, sure. Tsukiyomi from the Kabukicho Outlaws. Have you come here to save me? Why, you ask? That's such a sad question. We're part of the Mega Alliance. Oh, wait, are we? Okay, well, thanks, Tianjin, I guess. It is my pleasure to aid you, who so closely resemble my dear, sweet little brother. Now, listen closely. You're to leave this place and allow us to take the rear guard. We've alerted everyone from all other guilds as well, so the plan is already in motion. What are you planning to do? Even if everyone should stand their ground, as things are now, retreat would be inevitable before long. But were you all just to run for it, you'd simply be picked off one by one. So a more measured approach is needed. And should the world representatives return, any chance we might have had to bring our own home would be lost. So with time very much not on his side, we are left with but one choice. Find a way to deal with these future memories. Was that the evaluation sound? Sorry, it threw me for a loop hearing that. Meanwhile, just as Sanzo may recall and the others successfully managed to escape, the power comes back on in the experimental operating room. Professor, what was that emergency stop for? Did something happen with the implantation of the future memories? Baphomet considers the fact that in all the many successful surgeries they've overseen to date, nothing like that has ever happened before. Do not concern yourself with the things that have not yet to come. That is written in the scriptures, I believe. I'll get straight to the point. Sanzo Minorikawa's sacred artifact has rejected the future memories. And, as if this is the first loop in which he was to receive said transplant, there is no precedent for this. Truly fascinating. So they've conducted this before in previous loops. I guess that makes sense, even if they didn't reveal it before. They, you know, for this plan to be go off without a hitch, it makes sense they would do some practice runs in previous loops. The sacred artifact quite literally rejects future predictions of any sort. They are anathema to them. Anathema to it? That's it. Okay, if that's the case, I can see why he vibes a lot with Bohemian, who rejects the future too. World representative Onyan Capone begins muttering to himself as he meticulously pores through memories of past loops. No injuring others, no stealing, no lying, no drinking spirits. No violating another's space, and no praying for the future. Unlike other sacred artifacts, this one restricts its bearers. So this is all the things he can't do, huh? It's much the opposite attack of expanding one's capabilities to bring them closer to the omnipotence or omniscience of godhood. I guess he'd be a good null-type variant. Rather than looking down from on high as a god, this allows him to look up almost as a Buddha figure, perhaps even defying death. This is not the first time they've made a comparison between Buddha as the null-type and God as the, you know, infinite or divine type. So you're saying, Professor, that through it, he is neither human nor god, but... who's to say? But there is one more thing. Whether it be a result or of the same issue or not, amongst all the research subjects. Baphomet remains motionless, listening on with great attention as Professor Onyankopon gives his theory in full. And those are the two reasons I postulate for the procedure being rejected. It all comes down to his role and his restrictions. Given the unprecedented nature of this case, it seemed prudent to power down not just the operating room, but the whole facility. Cutie! But this, of course, led to a hole in the facility security as well, resulting in a successful escape. Am I to assume I am authorized then to give chase to our runaway specimen, Professor Onyankopon? I must provide mental care, of course, but I must also confess to taking a personal vested interest in this flight. Oh no, you're certainly not allowed. Your kid is trash. After urging you to escape, Tsukiyomi gives a rallying call to the other Kabukicho outlaws. Why me though? Shouldn't the others be running? I'd like to see you get safety. For one, and this is just my gut instinct as a host, mind you, I feel like only a true Tokyo local can unravel all this. And you have been living in Tokyo as a human, so I believe you are more qualified than I to untangle this thread. But there is another reason as well. I want you to be the bastion of our future. For just a moment, Tsukiyomi's expression sours as if he'd had a momentary flash in his mind of someone dear to him, who's now far out of his reach. I had a little brother once, you see. A very, very cute little brother. And a big sister as well. A sweet, kind big sister. Those two fought all the time, and I always wanted to do something about it. But there was nothing I could do. Oh, so he's the middle child. The one that's forgettable. No wonder he's not taking an important role. Yet I always wondered to myself what sort of possible futures awaited us. I dreamed of them. And even should the future that came to pass be inevitable, I'd always hoped I could give them time to properly shape it. One's future is not something for others to decide, so I wanted to give them a chance to choose it for themselves. Now, go! And don't worry about me. My sword skills rival even those of my brother, you know. Okay, I understand. Just try not to get hurt, okay? Keep waiting for me, big brother. He says he's good with the sword, but he doesn't have a slash type variant. Now then, everyone, let's the Kabukicho outlaws have to shine. Let's show the enemy all our charms, shall we? Alright, let's go ahead and see this battle. Kyoma's gonna defeat everyone. This is gonna it's been cheating, I guess, waiting for a year and waiting for the busted power creep that is Kyoma. He has guts? Disgusting. Oh wait, we have a... what's it called? Claude here. In the very least, he can prevent Claude. Actually, never mind, they already have guts. That's not gonna help anything.
Finish.
Bye. Not exactly the master plan to have them fight back against us. Ellie! When were you captured? Through the overwhelming efforts of the Kabukicho outlaws, a momentary opening has cut through the enemy line. Hey, Neural. What's your variant ready? And in that moment, your laptop uses his teleportation power to whisk you away. To somewhere else. Alright, that was part 1. Quite a lengthy part 1. We'll be achieving a higher state of being part 2 right now. And a large map that rewards some coins and is featuring the cutie mob again. The cutie world, Taiti. Please be updated at some point. It looks like they're all the world mobs though, interestingly enough. I guess we're just facing a bunch of brainwashed people. Long slash maybe is Ellie. Green, I don't know. It's probably Yobo or some shit. Alright, well, what is this disgusting team? What is this trash? I do vaguely remember what they are all about, but do they have our evos? They don't. Okay, they're trash. Whatever, let's just do this. There once was a single young street cleaner on duty who was a bit slower to process things than most others. Algernon. One day, he met a certain experimental test subject, a rodent. That rodent was more clever than he. That rodent had progressed beyond him. So impressed was he with the rodent, in fact, that he decided then and there he too would undertake the same experiments. He wanted to be faster, to process the world around him at a greater clip. That, he believed, would make everything better. What is with this anti-human hate? Well, I get it too. He's probably my least favorite beast tamer. Within an experimental operating room in the future world of Utopia, one of the 23 worlds connected to Tokyo, an acceleration experiment was conducted in collaboration between big industry and academia, and it was poised to revolutionize everything. The project's name, along with the 2 cyberguard buddies involved in its undertaking, was Algernon. It came to be by pairing a human and a rodent who'd both been subjected to intelligence acceleration experiments. Prediction complete! Targets will appear starting from the right, then from above, then from their left. You ready, buddy? You don't have to be so loud, mouse. You're right by my ear. I've already taken care of them all anyway. What have you got next? Algernon's performance is set to be far beyond that of any other test subjects thus far. It's rumored that before his targets even appear, he's already fired all his shots and ready to stance for the next round. Compared to the old models, Algernon is leaps and bounds ahead, due in no part to his existence as 2 beings in 1. Streets ahead, I tell you. Up to this point, cyborgs have all been fitted with acceleration devices that allow them to act much quicker than human consciousness allows. Space jousting. Their speeds are so fast that their clothes even burn up as they move due to atmospheric friction. It's truly a revolutionary technology. Yet humans are never satisfied quite so easily. They want more. They want to be able to cross from the 3rd dimension to the 4th, into the realm of time. Initially, the goal was to increase computational power exponentially, and a bit to improve the capacity for intelligence and reasoning. But getting from there to accelerating time itself proved a Herculean challenge. Humans have semicircular canals in their inner ears, specifically to perceive 3 dimensions, but lack any physical means of perceiving time in the same manner. To put it another way, a single human cannot separate awareness of the present and future within themselves. That is an interesting observation, I suppose, as long as you're treating the future as if it's a dimension you can freely travel across. Technically speaking, the semicircular canals don't actually sense all directions of rotations, I believe. Actually, does it? It might. Yeah, I think it does. There's like one for this one. No. I studied biology a while ago, so I'm being corrected here, even though I studied it. Should a single individual be presented with too much future data, they will no longer be able to tell which is which between present and future. And hence come the new gen mobs. This resulted in numerous test subjects succumbing to madness, but through their heroic sacrifices, the newest model cyborgs have come into being. In the case of the buddy system employed by Algernon, one of the 2 individuals in control of processes present data, while the other processes the future. so that's their workaround. As such, the 2-in-1 cyborg is capable of transcending time. Nowhere does there exist another who can think ahead of faster than this duo. Oh, happy arrival, welcome back. As it turns out, however, this revolutionary acceleration testing has a rather terrifying side effect. Faster senescence. Anything accelerated must experience recoil after all. That applies to the new type cyborgs just as much as it did to the old. An intelligence accelerated must always inevitably then decelerate, and the deceleration may bring it down to speeds far lower than before the experiment began. And the dread that comes from losing something bestowed weighs far heavier than if that something had never been given at all. Are they fighting again? They're just casually talking a second ago. So, is that why you lotto in with the rule makers? With that world representative from Utopia? Sparks fly between Nomad and Algernon as the line is pulled back to the future city. Nomad reflects upon the clues he's gathered thus far in his capacity as a Tokyo detective. I wonder if they have any special lines for each other in their love quest, since these two seem to interact a startlingly large amount for as prominent side characters as they are. That's right. We're helping with the experiments to advance the technology and find some way to curb our intellectual decline. I see. So it is self-motivated. And that justifies kidnapping our boss and abducting a whole gang of locals at that. It does. From what I hear, the experiments that influx of tech subjects has made possible have already begun to bear fruit. I see. That explains a lot. Explains why you've all seemed so much more desperate than usual, if nothing else. What? You boast about your new model, but you think you can really keep it together when an even newer model comes about? Meddlesome detective. What have you unearthed, snuffing about in the rulemaker's nest? The fighting continues between the Mega Alliance of Guilds and the Rulemakers, with unusual behaviors continuing to come into focus. Yunzo! Kyuba! Stop this! Is my voice not reaching you? Daisuke Ikusaba, also known as Torana's Mask, which we will have to let you know every single time we say his name, of the Ikebukuro Berserkers, thus really cries out to his schoolmates, trying to get them to listen to reason. As a fellow athlete, he understands just how powerful the recoil will be, and how much of a toll it will take if they continue their current line of attack. So they're saying the recoil will not just apply to Algernon, but also to these future forced barriers. I guess that makes sense. I mean, they especially, since they don't have two consciousnesses to bear it. Well, then again, Anil Capone did say he removed the present memories to implant the future ones, so maybe that's not an issue. Yoyogi Academy in Shibuya Ward is the school Daisuke attends, where he practices wrestling and spends time with so many dear friends. Among them are Gunzo Tamamura of the rugby club and Kyuma Nakatsugi of the baseball club. Though both of them are app users, as far as Daisuke is aware, they both actively distance themselves from guild battles. They're both normie core, if you will. They only show up for side events for very unimportant shit. Additionally, Daisuke is fairly certain that none of them are sacred artifact users, but rather transient users. Interesting. That's actually an interesting thing I didn't notice about the Yogi Academy students before. And honestly, we don't really see too many transients in general, or people in general that are transient users as opposed to sacred artifact users. This is like something they only mentioned like chapter 3 or 4 once in passing. Essentially, as a user of the app, you can only typically use summon transients or summon a sacred artifact. Not both. We're the exception as the protagonist because that's how we are. But yeah, that's a thing that, seems like an important distinction, but is not really touched upon until now. Essentially, rather than employing sacred artifacts in battle, they both fight by way of separate transients who reside within them. In case of Kyuma, it's going to be David, and in case of what's called Gunzo, it's some sort of amalgamation of some sort. Old lab results suggest cohabitant summoners to be particularly well suited to feature transmutation, but this confirms it. With Sanzo and the others, and now even Baphomet gone, Professor Young Capone is the only one still remaining in the operating room. But this is not just any operating room, and employs a number of technologies brought over from the world of Utopia. As the previous century drew to a close, technologies from all 22 other worlds were integrated into Tokyo's homegrown tech sector, opening up a whole new realm of possibilities. Professor Onion Capone now mutters to himself as he rereads the past thesis from the terminal in front of him. Algernon is just like you. Two consciousnesses in one, each keeping each other in check. Truly fascinating. But that may not be the only reason, as there's some connection to Tokyo's master rule as well, the majority rule. No, that's not important right now. I need to focus. Let's go back to that fascinating case study. Legion, yeah, that's it. Sanzo Minorikawa, although his sacred artifact blocked the procedure, his physical compatibility is as high as it gets. Suddenly, World Representative's Onion Capone begins laughing. Not in exasperation, but not with any unironic sense of defeat, but with great delight. What a rush! Humans truly have nearly limitless potential, don't they? This could be our big break. The breakthrough to usher in the future we seek! It's around this moment when the call for reinforcements from the other world representatives fighting on front lines pops onto Onion Capone's app. Oh, you're pushing yourself awfully hard, don't you think? I'd say you're about to reach your limit. Asashi Shibe Unue, who commands the regiment of Tokyo residents, flashes a smile that looks, for all the world, to be as pure and innocent as can be. If you want to run, I don't mind. Go ahead and run. It's not as if you're all enemies. The only real enemies to the three true goats are the other two. If you should choose to retreat, we will not pursue you. We won't hassle you at all from here on out, in fact. But as long as you remain in this future city, we will regard you as hostile and treat you accordingly. We might even decide to convert you to our cause. And though transients can't receive future transplants, we have older methods to make them compliant. I guess in the same way they made Nomad. What? You don't understand what I'm insinuating? That's what makes you lower forms of existence. Is retreat really our only option? No? No. Don't give up so easy. Think, Taurus Mask. Think! Daisuke lightly slaps himself to simulate his nerves, then dons his mask and jumps back into his alternate persona. Taurus Mask, on! Hope you're watching, Mr. Avarga. Taurus Mask thinks back once more to the teacher who helped him escape and lead him to safety. And led him to safety. With all the pandemonium in the Ikebukuro, he couldn't have felt reassured by his own safety in the slightest. And that was a good point. Where did Daisuke go? Maybe we should ask Taurus Mask. But he was led into Arakawa, where conditions were much safer. As long as he was safe, that's all that seemed to matter to Mr. Avarka. At the very least, it gave him some choice in the matter of what should happen to him and from there. Daisuke Ikusaba hasn't seen Avarga since then. Avarga went even farther than to the east in search of his captured arch-nemesis. Taurus Mask remains very aware of the choice he was given, however, and does not intend to waste it. His future must remain his own to shape, and he feels compelled, inspired, to do the same for his own juniors that his teacher did for him. It ain't over till the final bell, Taurus Mask, so let's keep fighting till the bitter end! Taurus Mask proclamation, though inwardly directed, served as an immediate rallying cry for the other Ikebukuro rankers, greatly bolstering their morale. Never mind that he's not part of the Berserkers. The Mega Alliance members, actually, is he? I guess he is. I forgot because Taurus Mask is irrelevant. Like, even when Berserkers show up, he's not usually among the Berserkers. Actually, he's not part of the Berserkers, isn't he? He was just fighting like at Coliseum that one time. I can't remember if he's part of the Berserkers or not. The Mega Alliance, he shouldn't be because he's Yogi, right? He's probably not. The Mega Alliance members stare down to the Tokyo resident fighting on behalf of the rule makers. But then, in the next moment, something changes. Ugh. What's going on? Why is everyone backing down all of a sudden? Almost as if they'd foreseen something dire in unison, the contingent of Tokyoites all slink back from the front line at once. It wouldn't take Taurus Mask more than a few moments longer to find out why. Hey, it's Yasuori. Hey, Oedo Christmas music! Oh? The question is, why is Makuri not part of the Berserkers? He's part of the school, but not Berserkers. I mean, he never showed up in the Rankers, but like, is Taurus Mask part of the Berserkers? I feel like he was nowhere to be seen during the whole Berserkers getting defeated during Chapter 8 and them getting back together in Chapter 9. He was like MIA, and every single relevant thing the Berserkers thing did, and they were pretty irrelevant to begin with, so... Sorry to interrupt. The rule makers are quick as ever to respond when battle situation changes. However... we are most skilled at surprise maneuvers, so we shall be taking our advantage from behind. Every rule maker soldier stationed in position near Masashi Shinbei Une is quickly dispatched one after another. In a time like the present, with world representatives not in attendance, and while engaged with Guild Alliance nonetheless, it's simply too good an opportunity to pass up. Wouldn't you say, child prodigy? Now you've gone and done it, rule makers. You've brought the invaders and warmongers together for an allied incursion. So, what's next move then? Show me your hand, child prodigy, your real hand. No more bluffing. I see. Such a perfect play. It's like something right out of a textbook. So you want 2 dog warriors then? Thought that would make for a good fight, did you? What is that? Another figure looms beyond that of Masashi Shinbei Inoue. Fuseme. Sadly, it seems you've all failed that basic math. So allow me to give you an elementary level refresher. I am Masashi Shinbei Inoue of the 8 Dog Warriors, godlike prodigy of future days. Now let me show you why I'm called that. We're really gonna be facing Masashi with a bunch of 3-star bozos? I don't know about this. Survive for 2 turns. Okay, I see. Maria does not have skill lock on her. Yeah, she doesn't. And Tsukiyomi's useless. Okay. Does he have evasion at some point? No, he doesn't. Alright, he's dead. Charm on face turn. That failed off. He has tenacity, I think? Sure. That's pretty much it. Tenacity on move for the first return. And you have... Wow, these guys are useless. You're gonna die. Okay, let's just move up. Wait, why are we fighting these guys? We should not be fighting these guys over here. Let's move over here to the side. Okay, this is scripted garbage. Never mind. Bye, bitch. Ooh, we got wrecked. Ooh, that was quite a challenge. What do you say, guys? It's like they're on your side, but not really. I guess that's how it's supposed to be. Those are weird-ass scripted battles as we randomly backstab them. Alright, continuing on with part 3 of achieving a higher state of being. No battle. Through Nyarlathotep's teleportation, even whisked far away from the battleground where the Mega Alliance of Guilds and Tokyo residents are fighting. specifically, you now find yourself in some remote back alley somewhere, or rather, slightly above it, descending rapidly. Not gonna catch my fall? That would be an embarrassing end to the trophy. You serious? What are you, moron in chief? What are you, moron in chief? Asking for me to catch you? Despite his friendly ribbing, he does manage to break your fall, but he immediately falls by sticking his tongue out and cackling a bit. Well, that was fine howdy doody, wasn't it? Oh, wow, feels so good falling into the hard road below. I still don't, in fact. I don't know what's going on. The Mega Alliance of Guilds has entrusted you with a key to recovering all those Tokyo negatives who've had future memories thrust upon them. So, what is this future transplant? Why was everyone attacking us? And what am I even supposed to do? The words barely leave your lips before one of Nyarlathotep's fingers finds its way to them, shushing you as he bares his teeth. Shit! Look, there's still some customers waiting for you on the sales floor. Hey, it's Bao. He was a villain in the event, but is he gonna be like a backstabber here? aka conflicting interest among the rule makers? Oh, that's a relief. Seems I was the first to be found. The voice belongs to the demon transient wearing an elite-looking white school uniform. Don't you already have Bao? Wait. Have they already caught up to us? Oh, there's no need for concern. I assure you, I have not come in pursuit. At least, not for the reasons you're thinking. But it seems there are other pursuers who are just about here. Sorry to just suggest this, but quick, hide in that dumpster. You'll feel right at home anyways. What do you say? Pushing all into those first. The edgier Seth. Ube Seth. Lord Bao, why are you here? Actually, never mind that. Have you seen any intruders? Paul shrugs his shoulders and shakes his head in response to the soldier's questions. Not that I can tell. Well, I think I spotted some suspicious figures over that way. Bell raises his hand as he points to indicate a sense of distance. Much obliged, Lord Bao. Company, fall in line. We must follow the trail. All clear. You're safe to come out now. 3, 2, 1. Jumpin' Jack in the flesh! Pushing him back in. Good thing this is a blind spot from above, and those are lower-ranking soldiers. Ah, right. I haven't introduced myself, have I? Apologies for the rudeness. My name is Bile. I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance. Among 72 in service to a certain lord, I'm first in the hierarchy. But there I go boasting away. He gives the two of you a deep yet hollow bow, as if making the motions without actually meaning them. Gotta give credit where credit's due, I guess. Oh, please. It was nothing at all, I assure you. As you may have been able to glean from the conversation you just overheard, I am, in fact, a member of the rulemakers. Which, I suppose, means I am technically in a position to take orders from Mikhail and the other world representatives. So, why throw them off our trail? Are you betraying them? Oh, you are killing me. Sorry. Exploding into a fit of laughter like that is quite unbecoming of one with top hierarchical standing. It's just that you really don't seem to have a good grasp of your current situation at all, do you? I feel almost as if I'm looking down upon you. Such is the gulf between our standings. Well, I'm sure you guys used to looking down on people, so maybe you should get that checked with your neck. Oh! At around the same time, back on the battlefield, you've left behind. Forces from the warmongers and invaders have propped onto the scene from behind the mega lines, engaging the rule makers. Doji, and everyone else, I beg you, use this time to your advantage. Turn the tides and gather all the intel you can. Long time no see, Yasuyori. You still wet the bed? We are not children anymore, Nobimichi. We may have been raised on the same milk, but here, we stand as friends and foes. Hearing banter between the two, the self-proclaimed last of the dog warriors can't help but laugh heartily himself. Friends and foes? Stop my sides! I can't take anymore! Farewell to you. I hope that you keep smiling and laughing, as it will help dull the pain. That's rather cruel. Engrave my name of Yoshito Sosuke Inukawa onto the blade of treachery. Yoshito creeps up behind the boy and attacks in one swift motion. Yet the attack is somehow perfectly dodged. What? His failure to connect doesn't stop Yoshito of the 8 dog warriors from doggedly pursuing his prey, however. Neener. To have avoided my strike suggests foreknowledge of my presence and my attack. Can it be? There's no suggestion about it. I was well aware of your presence and your attack. Yes, I'm just that much of a protagonist, you know. This belabored exchange buys the rulemaker's drone soldiers enough time to target and fire down upon the young dog warrior from above. Yoshito is able to evade the onslaught of fire from the drones, but only just. He quickly regains his composure and takes a more ready stance. All misses, huh? Guess that's all that you can expect from the high ground advantage and quasi-future machine predictions. Wonder if I set myself up wrong, or if I was just working out of the wrong dimension. Pardon? Yoshito briefly spots a figure standing behind the young dog warrior and rubs his eyes to ensure he's not seeing things. By the way, Yoshito of the dog warriors, do you perchance know what it is you fight for? For what purpose do you ask such a leading question? I simply wish to know why it is you feel justified in fighting other dog warriors such as yourself. That's all. Pillars pierce firmly into the heavens or root themselves into the earth, and even the great flood of time cannot wash them or the memories they hold away, no matter how many loops they stand. What's more, those who possess these pillars may share lost memories of the past loops with others as they please. The warmongers took advantage of this, amassing loyal soldiers by selectively sharing only sad memories with them. And we're gonna retcon this by saying that the invaders, on the other hand, selectively shared only rage-induced memories, rallying the soldiers up to prime them for guerrilla combat, even though that's not what happened in the invaders chapters. Well, I suppose it's no surprise. You can't really understand. With these words, Masashi changes his facial expression once more. Though it's a hard one to read, conveying neither sadness nor anger. Mix memories of the past and present, and it becomes impossible for any singular person to determine which is which anymore. Things which happened long ago feel as though they just occurred, and vice versa. Everything gets muddled. But not for me. Oh, it's because of the second presence of Housamo? It's not like that when I go there, because I'm not alone. You see, I've got my mother by my side, always! The expression on his face is one of pure bliss. It's a smile of someone who truly believes that he's been guided by a higher existence, and who's offered himself completely to it. Is there even any need to fight me? I feel like you're just lacking perspective here. You're not seeing the bigger picture. When I go there, I find my bearings, and I fully understand which is the right way forward. So come, Let me show you how things look through the eyes of a superior being. Then you can see for yourself just what separates high class and low. Be sure to pay attention so you don't forget. Quite a unique focus on dual entities in this chapter. We don't usually get an observation of that, unless it's a case of actually two separate identities, that is Shadow and Original. Which is recognized as different things on yep. Engrave my name of Shinbei Hidaway onto thee, blade of new beginnings! As he cries this out, Masashi thrusts his dagger into the ground with so much force, it's as though he's driving a pillar into the earth. This dagger is the very same one used by the mother of the 8 dog warriors to take her own life, or so they say. Ooh, jeez. And at that moment of impact, a shadow of some unknown figure can be seen behind Masashi, whispering to him. I understand. Mother, I will do exactly as you say. There really is no need for us to fight, which is why I don't think of what I'm doing here qualifies as betrayal, as he's put. The world representatives don't even see me as part of the game, when you get right down to it. So... he's not a world rep. As far as the world representatives are concerned, our only real foes are other world representatives. That's what it means to be at the top of the food chain, I guess. And you know, he did fart tooth and nail, be a world rep last time, and failed. We're just riffraff to them. We aren't on the same level. And among all the rule makers, Mikhail and Amaterasu in particular are prone to this way of thinking. The effort? Are you talking about Housamo? I don't know. None of them really care what becomes of me, or the locals, or you. Oh, that's Captain. That was my fault. Or that was the game's fault, rather. Or maybe I'm just making too much of the fact that I'm not number one in their eyes. Despite occupying the top spot in the hierarchy, shouldn't I be the one entrusted to lead the Accelerated Tokyo Regiment? Regime? What does it matter if that child prodigy can sees a little ways into the future? Isn't it the past that really matters? No doubt. So, what do you think, kiddo? I'm thinking we can't afford not to not trust this guy. You're one to talk. Touché! I guess if trusting's a game, then I'm the losing horse. But I take that as a compliment. I believe your top priority right now, however, is not to fight the world representatives, is it? Rather, you hope to bring back all your friends who've been taken, no? How about you? What's your priority? Shall I try to guess? He's so salty, yeah. You want them to lose, don't you? To put their commander in his place, so you can show them how it's done. Well now, I seem to have underestimated you. I should have expected no less from that man's successor. Paul falls silent for a moment after this, his gaze focused squarely on the ring adorning his finger, or my finger. Although I am indeed a member of the Rule Makers Guild, there is always room for negotiation. Always room to find common ground. Always room for me to join the summoners in a little loop. Believe me, I know a thing or two about pacts and loopholes. So says the lawyer. Though when you get right down to it, I stand firm that it was they who betrayed me, and not the other way around. Oh yeah, he loves Housamo, I would presume, because that is in fact the person who bestows his power. Mikhail, Amaterasu, and the rest of their loyalists should have at least consulted with me before moving forward with their plan. They should be well aware of our pre-existing relationship, don't you think? Sorry. I'm just ranting at this point. Getting down to brass tacks, am I to understand that you accept my terms? That has yet to be determined. You need proof you can be trusted. I wouldn't have it any other way. Shall we begin outlining this deal with the devil then? I'll begin by showing you the money, so to speak. So, you know I'm good for it. Here's what I can tell you about our guild's Modus operandi. I guess that's it. Alright, so that is going to be the first episode for today. We are going to be covering the next episode as well. Time limit, which does have about. We'll read the details later. But as per usual, let us go ahead and take a brief 5-minute intermission. Go ahead and use the washroom or, I don't know, get some snacks, take a shit, I don't know, do whatever you want. He said go to the washroom twice at that point. Anywho, yeah, I'll see you guys in 5 minutes. See you soon. Hey guys, I'm back. I'm going to see what you guys type for a bit, because I'm interested in your random ass thoughts. Go reheat those nachos. You do you. Intron, you have such a healthy, interesting relationship with your sibling. I don't think I know anyone else who has siblings playing this same very peculiar game. Good to see you, Scarlet. And if you remember correctly, Invader's plan was to use memories to turn enemies against each other. But A. Isaac betrayed them and made his own plan of turning. Oh. Yeah, there was some sort of betrayal, wasn't there? That was like their main plan, was walk on Tonka's thing. And then Perrin was just like, oh no, they're not going to become me instead, because I want everyone to become me. I don't know. Maybe that was the case. They say that, I don't know. It's kind of just like alleging this is what they normally would have done, but then like 90% of the chapter was just doing some other thing instead when they say, oh yeah, they bestowed them with memories of Anchor. Anyway, I didn't actually drink anything, so let me take a separate now before we begin. And this time, I'll switch the scene. There you go. Alright. So we are going to be... sorry. We are going to be doing Time Limit Part 1. Which is a small map featuring 2 unknown enemies, featured some coin, rewards. I don't know, these could be. Let's just go ahead and hop right in. And we have no choice on that. We're fucking Tatum is still in this game. Oh my gosh. Alright, hey, they're level seated. Neat. Alright, Sandayu, always good to have you around. Sandayu being relevant is actually kind of surprising in general. Actually, what is this? These are all invaders, the heck? Invaders, or sorry, agents being relevant suddenly is a surprise for sure. I know they're supposed to be relevant for Hoover next chapter, but yeah, they kind of have been absent from the story for all this time. Alright, let's do this. First, I'll touch on how Tokyo locals and transients who run afoul of public order and morals are treated in the future city. Rule makers do not hesitate to take necessary measures against transients who oppose them, as they've done in every loop. The transients are brought in, have their identities wiped, and have convenient memories from past loops implanted into them. Yeah, so it seems that this is slightly different from other situations where memories melt together when it comes to the warmongers or the invaders. It seems they're just outright stripping the original memories so that there's less of a weird conflict there when it comes to the future. I don't know, maybe they haven't actually done the future every time and this is just the first time they did it for this loop, but still, we will see. Well, he's implying that it's been done for every loop. Hey Vagarga, looking as juicy in your muscles as always. An operating room separated from, but much the same as the one Sanzo was held in. Subject is a mixed origin, system designer type, and may possess second-class extratemporal memory aptitude. There are indications of prior memory transplantation from the warmongers as well. Taking this into account, we may wish to increase our memory output for this procedure. Let's begin with past memories. Ooh. His brain is being fried? Jesus Christ. Actual lobotomies happening on this main quest? That's fucked. Well, you know, I guess technically worse than lobotomies have been happening all this time. Memories of the past begin flooding into the mature transient's head and take artifact, like, taking the form of forced, intense flashbacks. Alright, let's see these future memories for once. Varga is a member of the faculty of your yoga academy, a renowned sporting school. There, it's practically policy to gather together all the most physically fit and athletically minded students they possibly can. Though there is also a peculiarly high number of Tokyo locals enrolled there who happen to be possessed by transients. Varga joins a number of other teachers in his group, Loop, to offer his educational services on these prestigious grounds. Prestigious, they say. Varga is sexy wrestler coach. I'm glad you feel the same way. I know Varga's not for everyone, but I gotta say, he's one of the earliest dad bods in this game. When in a game that was just full of like generic biotypes, he's definitely the more burly, you know, a built, what's called beer gut type. Boasting champion status in Boch, martial arts originating from his hometown, Varga coaches their highly regarded wrestling team after school. And no one is prouder of or more devoted to the many dedicated students who've long been in his charge than he. Unsurprisingly, given the level of prestige held by this institution, allegedly, personal care treatments that rival anything professionals could offer follow each intense training session. Any vital signs are thoroughly checked and recorded, along with any and every other data point relevant to the well-being of both mind and body. Varga's colleague, a sports doctor who carries out such treatments, is considered a true expert in his field and is highly respected by the students and faculty alike. As such, it's no surprise that Varga too fully trusts this doctor to help maintain his own physical health and well-being as a working adult and avid athlete alike. Is this part going to be about how Miyake gathered up the agents to help rescue Varga? That'd be cute. You better have a beer gut with that beer can he like scaring. Yeah, that's true. He's always gonna. Aww, squishy. Don't worry, I want to take a pinch too. However, he's always noted that this doctor's mannerisms, particularly the look in his eyes and the movements of his hands, suggest there is something he's surreptitiously looking for. Still, this has never stopped Varga from placing his full trust in the good doctor. Though that's more due to distraction than anything else, with Varga's attention firmly focused elsewhere. On Miyake's hand, grabbing his crotch. For there's another person, an arch rival of sorts, whom Varga strives more than anything to best. The transient teacher Arslan of Daikanyama Academy. He's a veteran fighter, every bit of Varga's equal, or perhaps even more, employing a foreign martial arts known as oil wrestling. And Varga has been tempering himself solely to win against this stalwart rival of his ever since he first arrived in Tokyo. It's after much toil to this end that Varga sees a significant turn point in his life in Tokyo. That being conscription into the Warmongers Guild of the West. On the Warmongers' behalf, he joins the front lines of the war among the three true guilds. With memories of fighting by their side in previous loops ringing through his head, he does not hesitate to ally himself with this mighty force. Standing shoulder to toe with the giant king Balor, he fights unwaveringly upon battlefields that feel positively mythological in scope, making a real name for himself all the while. Yet unto Varga, in this prime of his fighting life, another turning point has come. A time to make a decision. He chooses his students over the Warmongers. Which is a bit of the opposite of Yoyogi, I guess, for what's called Yasuyori. Well, he kind of picked his students. For a student who should be attending his school has been drafted, and on top of that, word has it, his erstwhile arch rival has been captured by the rule makers. Therefore, while continuing to train his students, Varga resolves in his heart what his next move is to be. Stop! Please! Don't mess with my idiotic memories! On the occasion of one particular fight, Varga breaks the news to Balor. He's leaving the battlefield and taking his students with him. The sound effects are so explicit. Yeah, out of all the brainwashing sound effects we've had, like, Varga's is just straight up lobotomy sound effects. What the fuck? Actually, it's not even a lobotomy sound effect. It's like fucking electric. What the hell? And to his surprise, World Representative Balor meets this news of Varga's dissertation with a smile, even giving it a nod of acknowledgement, or perhaps approval. Though if this had occurred before that one particular loop, things might be different. Getting in touch with the resistance movement among the rule makers, Varga leads the one student who was able to break free in their care. Then sets off alone to challenge the main stronghold of the rule makers, the so-called future city of Utopia. For if this Tokyo should fall, he wants for nothing more than to square off against his arch rival before the end takes hold. That is definitely a type of motivation. He knows the world's gonna end, so he's like, oh, I have to rescue my arch rival so I can fight him. Like, okay, if you say so. Varga continues onwards undeterred, even when spotted by the Rule Maker soldiers. Military drones fitted with heavy weaponry use predictive targeting rain fire down upon him. Yet he perseveres. Amazing. Varga is actually being relevant after being debuting for new semester like 5 years ago. The plumage of the secret bird, Kongarid? Sorry, I don't know my Russian at all. Kongarid swiftly deflects every shot as it frantically flits around him. Varga has come to be known as a right-hand man of the giant King Balor, long believed to be among the very strongest of the warmongers. If your life means that little to you, just try and take me. But I, Varga, shall neither run nor hide. These are not empty words, but a promise. Varga will stand his ground, even should he face down the strongest, most storied of transient warriors. And so the way forward clears for him, his opposition parting in his wake, until the shadow of one particular foe is cast upon his path. You're no transient, aren't you? The figure casually, calmly raises a pistol and fires at him. And although Varga deploys Kongarid's plumage to shield himself from below, the blow in but a split second. What? Where did that come from? The bullet ricochets into him, sailing past the bird's feathers from an unexpected direction. The shot was fired away from him, but angled perfectly to bounce back and hit its mark. And the shots kept coming. Varga kept to himself that this can't be. He was predicting the future, but this is on another level. This goes beyond even manipulation of future events. For such long shots, such lucky strikes to occur one after another with such perfect accuracy. Transients captured in this manner are dealt with just as any warmonger or remainder would be. For you see, there are operating rooms throughout the future city, each fitted with technology from a certain other world. Reconstructive surgery is carried out therein, transforming the unwitting patients into Rule Maker loyalists. Amid the flood of past events he's been exposed to in his so-called surgery. Sorry, that fucking destroyed my chords. Give me a second. Jesus Christ. Varga's mind can't help but drift back to the safety of his beloved students. The beautiful, irreplaceable students and colleagues he was forced to leave behind are there. How are they holding up through all of this? He considers that this fate is of his own choosing, and he believes he made the right choice. As a teacher, it is on him to fight this battle, not on those in his charge. Though he wonders for a moment if this could be a mere self-satisfaction. Perhaps a bit of smugness? Maybe undue pride? The road here has been paved with uncertainty after all. Lord Salam. Jesus Christ. Preliminary treatment complete. Let's move on to the main procedure. Varga does not notice a pounding on the wall of the neighboring room, nor the sound of someone's voice calling out. One room over from where Varga finds himself on the receiving end of the past memory transplant surgery. Varga! Pull yourself together, Varga! Hearing an all too familiar voice from next door, Arslan pounds on the walls with all his might and cries out the name of his arch rival. Oh my gosh, I'm actually tearing up. That's so sad. This scenario is kind of fucked up, isn't it? Hearing a tortured voice of your closest friend and arch rival being tortured on the other side, Jesus Christ. I trust the VIP accommodations we prepared are adequate, my dear Aslam. We've even supplied it with the sweetest music, don't you think? Though, please do speak up if it's not to your liking. You bastard! If only I could join the chorus and add my own pitiful shrieks to fill out the harmony. Why, just the other day, your companion Hyoko struck me, and without even realizing it, I left out such a moan. The match ended in a draw, postponed due to injury. I was pulled from the field by my loyal subordinates and whisked away. Yakov's biggest weakness, really, is that he always acts alone. So I'm just grateful that now I can count him among my regime of locals and harness that power of his. How dare you speak my name or Yakov's with that look in your eyes? You want me to make you feel pain like he did? Oh no. I could never permit you to take such base actions, my dear Assalam. The true owner of this body made it quite clear that you, in particular, are to be handled with the utmost care. Arsalan makes it as if to cry out once more, but it's then he finally realizes that something's changed in his surroundings. The voice he'd been hearing yell out from the room next door has taken on an entirely different character. Oh, rest in peace, Avarga. Varga's voice is no longer that of someone experiencing pain, but overcome with joy and unable to contain his laughter. The warmongers focus their attention on sad memories from past loops, while the invaders focus more on those that induce anger. Oh, are we gonna learn the emotion? Is it happiness or something? Then there are the rule makers. The memories we transplant into our subjects from past lives are happy ones. Happy memories, huh? How does that work out? How does that work out, like, really? Please, explain. Well, it comes down to the true nature of happiness we instill. It's the joy of being taught the unknowable by a superior being. Take financial fraud, for example. As a prosecutor, it's a subject I'm quite familiar with. Is that why everyone's silhouetted? Because they have some eerie smiles on their faces? Jesus Christ. Fraudsters feel like gods, guaranteed a profit as they accurately predict the rising and falling of stocks as if by magic. There are people who can do that. Well, first I've heard it. Oh, wait, no. I guess I've heard about it before. Yeah, imagine if you're facing, like, what's it called? Leaked and Claude and the other guildmasters, and they're all, like, having a eerie laughing smile to them. It's very real indeed. Oh, is this Coco Pelli's work? But it comes at the expense of the masses who feel cheated out of their rightful slice of the pie. For example's sake, let's use the stock prices, whether they rise or fall. It's basically 50-50, a coin toss. A fraudster might send letters, say, 50 million people complaining how the stock will move. To half they claim the stocks will rise. To the other half, they predict a decline. Once the stocks moves, they contact the 7.5 million who receive the correct predictions, sending them another forecast. This process repeats, narrowing the group to 3.75 million recipients who once again received the correct prediction. Finally, in the last iteration, the fraudster sends a final letter to those unfortunate ones who receive correct predictions every time, reading as follows. Oh my god. I have guessed the right 3 times in a row. I am a god who can see the future. Please put your face in me. Ooh, that is tricky. Actually, that would be kind of fucked up in a real way to exploit people's trust, wouldn't it? You deceive, like, by the numbers, a large amount, and you somehow tell someone, gain someone's confidence by making them believe you have, like, future vision. But in reality, you've just duped that many people, and they're the one exception who has won every coin toss. That's so clever, holy shit. Dalai Varga has endured a number of different destinies through the past memories he's been selectively gifted. Sometimes he was in a warmongers as he is now. Other times he was instead a member of the rule makers. And throughout all these past lives, he made a seemingly endless number of choices, through which countless people important to him often lost their lives. This is a really dark way to superimpose memories, while also vibing with the rule makers' method of tutelage and education, to gain that sense of confidence of an authority figure simply by deceiving them that they've always known by this process. That's fucked. Yet it was always through his own judgment that he suffered the deepest loss, and it was always in times when he went along with the rule makers that he came out ahead. Bombarded with memories, reinforcing this idea, Varga almost subconsciously comes to the conclusion that he shouldn't think for himself anymore. He should just do as the rule makers say. Oh my god, so that's how it's connected. That's fucked. Connected to the rule makers' ideology. That's fraud on a ludicrous scale! But how could no one figure it out? Caught in the chaos of the scheme, it's impossible to see the bigger picture. Only looking down from above reveals the truth. It plays upon our learned helplessness and upon the experience, the rush of success. That is the base stratagem employed by the rule makers in every loop to date. I see. Vorka, what have you done to him? Does it even matter? Wouldn't you like to join in the laughter, Aslan? I fail to see what's so amusing, Archangel Isokil. What is it you hope to gain here? Oh, what a question. The rule makers certainly aren't just doing this for sport, of course. They do not act upon mere whims. I have a firm plan in mind. Of that you may be assured. And it's not far from our plan to eliminate Solomon. In order for our strategy to succeed, it was all too necessary to write him out of our scene. Though I will say, perhaps around half of us, if not a bit more, may be acting on a whim after all. Yet not I. My goal here is simple. It's what I desire more than anything. To apply a dead end upon the royal paths of yours. A blind faith, if you will. Jesus Christ. Now then, I'm afraid that's all the free samples you get. If you want more, tut-tut, you'll need to enter a pact with me. But do so, and I swear by my good name that I will tell you absolutely everything I know about the rulemaker's new strategy. So, will you do it? I trust your answer will be a favorable one for me, Arthur. Alright, what are your terms? You are a tough nut to crack, aren't you? Well, your instincts are keen. There is a certain price only you can pay. I have but one single term. I want you to say, of your own volition, that I am your number... Okay. If you say so, Belle. If you say so. Huh? Half of it is indeed for my own gain, though I can assure you. There is no ulterior motive attached to that. Nothing sinister. Yeah, sure, Jen. The other half is for my own pleasure. As he says this, Belle once again stares hungrily at the ring on your finger. Should you, his successor, acknowledge me as number one for the first time? Well, it may not seem like much to you, but to me, it would mean everything. Without that approval, I can hardly even go on. Is it related to the source of his powers? If he's acknowledged as number one, does he get stronger? These countless histories that have piled up over the years are my sole source of pride. Oh, whoa! You're really asking old Nero for advice? Hail Mary, full of grace! I say you just follow your heart. There ain't no answer right or wrong here. Even the god I look up to knows not the future. Well, it's not like the choices that were implemented in Valentine Crossroads haven't installed yet, so go ahead, it does not matter. I just have to say you're my number one. Pride sure can be a powerful motivator. Yes, yes, praise me. Oh, it sounds so sweet. Thank you so very, very much, Arthur. It's the first thing you ever said to me, and saying it of your own volition truly means the world. Okay. It's the premonitory alarm. There's a high probability we have an intruder among us. Let's be on alert! Here come the agents, probably. Hey, there they are. They don't normally band together, but I guess they just are now. Oh yeah, Miyaki, can he see the future? I know he can see a lot, but he might be able to see the future in some ways. Yeah, he does see the future, doesn't he? Just like the near future of the loop to guarantee his safety every loop. Seeing the future does not inherently preclude victory. Should an amateur boxer know precisely which punches a professional were to throw? Will that ensure a win? I am that professional. I am a pro at information warfare and sabotage. Without any world representatives in attendance, I would bring shame to my profession should I not be able to handle this much. I see, so if there's no world representatives, then he's probably the best when it comes to feature vision is what he's proclaiming. Powers off throughout the institution, and I'm getting some big intel now. Do not be so greedy, Sandayu. Once escape has been assured, we set the place alight. I'm relevant again, by request of the Mega Alliance, and for a nominal fee, I'm all too happy to lend my aid as a member of the Agents. Mr. Avarga, you certainly seem to have had your fill of this place, no? Oh my, like moths to a flame. I take it this man is someone important to you? Just a colleague, really. Someone who put his trust in me to give him care. I am therefore the only one permitted to poke and prod at him, and I do not intend to give up that privilege lightly. Which means it's punishment time. Let's expose your information, shall we, Isakriel? Miniaki Arima, whose information game is the strongest in Tokyo, speaks his opponent's name as though it were common knowledge. Yeah, I don't think he has a world pillar, but he's able to nonetheless deduce, I guess, all the facts just by his feature vision and his like knowledge of... Does he have feature vision? I think he actually just understands people by looking at them or something. Engrave my name of Miniaki Arima onto thee. Higher clairvoyance. Oh, feature vision, there you go. Do your worst. There is no sweeter sound than the screams of those who speak with utmost confidence. So I implore you to play me my favorite symphony. Let me hear your music ring out. Engrave my name of Isakriel upon thee. Excision in Excelsis! Was this a battle? Yeah, it was. Featuring these photos. Unfortunately, the best one among us is probably going to be Tadatomo. And I guess we can move Sanda here too. Oh no, he's brainwashed! He has extended movement, so let's go ahead and move Miniaki over here so he can take the hit. Yeah, he has evasion. Good job. Good job, Miniaki. Proccing the low rate evasion. Easy money.
どいつもこいつも未熟もんやの。ワイの屍を踏み越えるんは一体いつに。
Alright, we're moving on to Time Limit Part 2. It is a small map featuring Coco Belly. And there's some coins. Can we bring anyone? No, we can't. It's just gonna be more scripted battles. The man took part in a particular game, a death game, in which all the participants put their very lives on the line. Participants from all 24 worlds, including this one of course, all gathered in one place, all throwing their various and sundry gauntlets every which way. Despite being what's it called? Wielding a shotgun, he's a snipe range. Very interesting. And that man survived them all. And we need to continue waging battle against all the others who survived in kind. Is he saying he played Russian roulette with a bunch of people and he won them? Fight after fight, triumph after triumph, he persevered. Not a soul could remain standing before him. And yet... He knew that none of this meant the game would end. That is a cool sound effect. There was nothing beyond this. He knew the future was empty. And he points the gun to himself. Get me out of here! So he loaded his gun, he put it in his mouth, and he pulled the trigger. He's like, I'm out of this place. Get me out of this joint. Later, losers. A single gunshot ran across and now quiet wasteland. The man began to laugh. He laughed and laughed. It seemed clear that he'd lost his mind. If there were to be no escape from this death game, if the living hell were forced to continue, if there were nothing left for him to hang on to aside from but a tiny thread, then he would just have to ask himself, what else is there to do here, beyond grabbing that thread? A bit like Kiryu, I guess. Hopelessness from pointlessness in loops. Now then, my contractor, permit me to discuss the matter you're most interested in. Up until now, the rule makers, too, have weaponized past memories, much as the other two true guilds have always done. This time they're weaponizing future memories, isn't that the case? But in this loop, they've now found a new weapon that they like even better. Memories of the future, at least as they pertain to those who are born here in Tokyo. And by transplanting these future memories into Tokyo residents, the rule makers succeeded in creating a new status quo. How can there be future memories? Why do they make everyone hostile? And what do you mean by new status quo? Please, Lord, dump everything on us. Well, since I'm not a native to the city myself, much of what I'm about to tell you is a little more than hearsay and conjecture. But I'll tell you what I know nonetheless. Let's go down the line in order, shall we? Firstly, in regard to the native Tokyoites your Mega Lines came to rescue, I'm afraid they've already been all on the receiving end of future memory transplants. I'm kind of surprised Jacob was able to be affected since he has a world pillar. But I guess if they are directly doing some surgical experiments on his world pillar, then that'd be different. Will that affect his pillar in future loops then? I don't know. They know who will be fighting them, how they will fight, and what outcome will be. This foreknowledge on such a grand scale takes predictive combat to an entirely new dimension. It's not unlike looking down from above upon a bug that can only scurry on the ground and squashing it as it squirms. However, this loop is the very first in which the rule makers have ever attempted future memory transplantation. So everything is still very experimental. The only way to know how effective the procedure was is by deploying its subjects. This is why they appointed someone like the perspective to lead the militia of accelerated Tokyo residents. That would be the child from the land of Wa, Masashi Shimbe Inoue. He should appear even younger than he does. I've heard tell that, by all rights, he should still be a mere toddler. Yet through the guidance of a superior being, he's leaped from time and accelerated to his current age. Rarity Diff, did I not say you'd be unable to win this fight if it were 2-on-3? Or are you just that bad at math? Knowing the future means knowing no fear of defeat. Through any number of fights. That should be obvious even to skilled children. The young pup laughs as he handedly dodges the combined attacks of both Yasuyori and Yoshito. All the while, the light emanating from the dagger that serves as a sacred artifact continues to glow brilliantly as it juts from the earth. So, Arathan, are you with me so far? Let's delve into the whys a little. Why would they come back with me? Why do they stand against us? And why do they obey the rule makers? Right, because, you know, they're not brainwashed per se, they just have selective memories of a future. So it seems peculiar that they're not, you know, recognizing us or talking to us. Even with the accelerated Tokyoites pushing them to the wall, the remaining members of the Mega Lines of the guilds continue to bite back hard. Yet amidst all the fierce fighting, they've all begun to realize something truly frightening. Those who stand against them are unlike any opponents they've fought before. Those who had pasts implanted in them by the three true guilds show noticeable differences from their former selves. It's almost imperceptible at first, but as these are friends and colleagues, it doesn't take long for the foreign, out-of-place elements within them to assert themselves. And yet, the people standing before them are still very clearly the same person. People the Mega Lines members have known and loved for ages. They just have come to deny their own true natures, seemingly by their own will. Well, let's see. The answer to all your questions is, well, because they don't really have any other choice. Because they understand that the only path for them is to embrace the new tactics devised by the rule makers in this loop. Don't you see? The past will always be just the past, no matter the distance one may try to place between it and the present. And while it's true that even if one failed miserably in the past, there still remains hope for the future. Should they come to learn from that there is no future, no hope, well, that changes everything on a fundamental level. Just knowing that no matter how this game may progress, Tokyo has no future to speak of. Knowing that for as long as they remain players of this game, there's no escaping from this nihilistic fate. I'm a bit worried about this because they haven't really ever undone brainwashing per se, or that is to say forced memory implantation. It's more like people just have to learn to deal with it when they are given it. So, I don't know. Maybe there's a different case they excise the original memories. So as long as they can put those ones back, maybe they can excise the future ones implanted with the same device. Knowing that the one and only way to survive this death game is to become a superior being. What choice are they left with but to side with the rule makers, to help ensure the future of those who've come to save them? What even is a superior being, though? What makes someone superior? Privilege? Wait. Surely you can't mean... Bingo, my dear Sumner. That's exactly what you're thinking. Though, if you'll permit me, I'd like to expand upon it for a moment. Consider gambling. Are you familiar with the concept of a sure bet? Of a gamble, that's not really much of a gamble at all. Do sure bets really exist, though? Are we circling back to the fraud again? But yes, I do know what a sure bet is. Whether betting at a casino or horse tracks, or playing lottery, anyone who gambles for too long is sure to lose. And that's because, if they didn't, the bookie would never be able to make any money, so the wager would never be taken. This leaves only one path to a sure victory. Become the bookie. Become an administrator. That's the rule maker's current approach. They are to surpass mere players and become superior beings. Become game masters. What? Guild. So they're doing guild affiliations too? Actually, we're dispatching ourselves to game masters. Laters. It's just that easy. Gurungach is not only a wanderer, but also a student of Tokyo Fire and Disaster Management University. But never would have he would have guessed that one of his superiors there has an administrative role in the game, and Gurungach isn't exactly one to hide his surprise. World from the Game Master's top brass, as down from atop Tokyo's Tower of Babel, is as follows. Watching with a sidelong glance as his subordinate leaves to go file a report somewhere, Commissioner Raven gives his answer to Superintendent Daikoku. Our primary goal is to see to it that the game here is in Tokyo keeps going, and to that end, there are a lot of things rule makers have done that we've got to look the other way on, at least in this current loop. The Yurikacho Entertainers are the other half of the administrative branch of this game, but they've gone rogue. Spurred on by their reverence for an outside influence, an observer who'd been watching from a distance all this time. Everything they did was for the benefit of the exception Solomon, who had been closely observing the trophy all this time. Perhaps they felt they owed him for being such a captive audience to their acting all this time. And so Solomon was put in direct contact with the trophy, and all his thoughts and previous loops were laid bare. The problem is, this constituted a grave abuse of privilege. It's like if a public servant suddenly decided to become a vigilante. Or, those are my thoughts on the matter anyway. The takeaway is, the administrative side of the game now lacks its resources. So why did the rule makers expunge King Solomon? Because it got their foot in the door to greater administrative privileges. Why did they ally with and ultimately break up the entertainers? Strictly to keep them from continuing their duties. And why did they create an army of Tokyoites? To lure you and your contingent out of hiding, Trophy. They intended to trap you as Solomon's successor within the walls of this future city. In one fell oh, thank you, Neil, for getting us out of there. In one fell swoop, they hope to take your rule and those of the entertainers, and with them seize total control of the game. I see, so eliminating the other administrative branch so they can be the sole one, while also having greater control over the trophy. I guess the Game Masters would be leaning towards that. A giant mech speeds high into the sky above the future city. A white-haired girl cradled in its hands. Hey, it's this location. Pretty. Moments later, the mech and the girl touched down upon the city's hanging garden. This is Curran, Guild Master of the Rule Makers, duty bound to monitor all that occurs among those in her charge. She lays her hand upon the stone monument at the center of the garden, activating a three-dimensional projection of a certain individual. Yeah, I figured. So, how is it, Father? How's the view from this highest point in the east of Tokyo? I'm guessing it's a bit lonelier than the places you've grown accustomed to. Wait! Are the memories of Mononobe split up in the same ways in terms of how they're implanting memories? Now that I think about it, the second Mononobe core was angry at us, wasn't he? I'm not sure if the first one was sad per se, but I guess it was kind of sad. So this third one is bound to be like euphoric. Interesting. It's strange, isn't it? There's a silly little war going on now in the world below us. The closer we get to where you stand, the more we'll find ourselves surrounded by struggle, despair, and desperation. Again, you called it. But it'll all be over soon. Just keep watching and you'll see, dear father. Keep watching over the futures of your test tube-born progeny, and you'll see. I would be more surprised, but it was also in his research profile that they are the child-born progeny. Now, let us begin humankind's final mission, and through it, bring Plan C to fruition. Come, brother. You are, as ever, the only one I can place my trust in. After much negotiation, the rule makers shared access to the future and memories of the city's locals. Well, shit, I'm skipping too much. These were provided by the World Pillar of Utopia, one of the 23 worlds. Or more like an echo of Tokyo's future, I suppose? According to Bile, the underlying methodologists of the rule makers aren't particularly different in this loop than they have been in previous loops. Or methodologies, rather. They're just raising awareness of an existence beyond comprehension, and convincing everyone to believe in and obey it. So, in other words, I guess that's one way to summarize their whole education tutelage thing. It's more so a combination of that and authority, so blind faith. There's like different forms of faith, but there's more like, you know, monotheistic faith where you just have to take it as truth. You obey the commandments, you do not have to analyze them. Those others adhere to that belief system and truly feel that choosing the future they've been shown is what's best for them. This boosts the rule maker's military might considerably in this loop, allowing us to oppose those who would stand against us. And so we push ever onward into the future, always faster than before, always one step ahead. There is one experiment among all the rule makers' dealings, though, that shocked even me. Their newest model, they call him. Right, so this is even more advanced than Algernon, who had like both the future and present memories. Apparently he's beyond that, he's just like manipulating probability itself. Kokopelli is his name. He's a modified insectoid born of the vessel possessed by a spirit from another world. He was forged in a laboratory before the game even existed. Ooh? Ooh? Sorry, but like, lore outside of the game itself is interesting. He survived many a death game until, finally, he became the recipient to the future memory transplant from the rule makers. Now he's a crucial component in the military machine, much like other Tokyoites. He will continue to be for as long as he knows that he cannot die, cannot remove himself from this world, even should he long to. Kokopelli. Yes, his abilities most certainly make him worthy of being called the latest model. Responding to the emergency request for a backup in the fight against the Warmongers invaders, Professor Onyankopon departs the operating room for the front lines. It's the synergy of transience and Tokyoite, the combination of utopian reconstructed surgery and future transplantation. He has no need for rules. Just as he is guaranteed to surpass all others and will never succumb to mortality. He cannot be influenced by external powers. He cannot die. By all rights, he should represent the very pinnacle of my ideals. Onyankopon's words take on a much darker tone as he considers the opposite side of the coin. Turning on my fan. But it does raise a question. If his powers come not from rules, then what metric do they obey? Is it from taboos? Is that why it hovered over Sanzo for a second? That is all the information I can provide, my contractor. Have I adequately underscored the hopelessness of the situation? I'd suggest distancing yourself from their mega alliance of guilds and spending what little time you have left in peace. What's wrong, Arthur? Are you laughing? Oh, thank you, Bile. I have a clear view of things now. Or at least of one thing. Huh? Somewhere in his long, rambling explanation, you're able to latch onto one particular fact of interest. That future transplants are linked with the world pillars. Essentially, you learn that these so-called memories amount to data stored within a world pillar that arrived here from Tokyo's future. You know, I've fought so many battles thus far. Too many to back down now. Sashi Shibe Inoue, I have now borne witness to your secret artifact in action. Are you finally gonna be useful, Toji? Actually being relevant to Summoner Boy. It roots itself into the ground and seems to be activated by digging up the past. This makes it a world pillar, if I am not mistaken. I have faced down such artifacts on more than one occasion. Ooh, this is a reference. Okay, so this is right. Make sure, I mean, it's too late now, but yeah, this is definitely the Roppongi dungeon quests. You would be wise not to underestimate us, particularly my friend, who has survived many role representative encounters. So, let us see what the solution is about. Yukimura, let's go! Toji Sakimono's thoughts run wild. But chief among them is the singular notion that if power is derived from a pillar taking root, the obvious counter is to sever that root. A direct counter to world pillars. This is precisely the moment the summoners have been preparing for, he muses. It's the perfect chance to unleash the power flowing through his blades. I must be patient. This is but the first step. There are others that must be taken before the root can be properly severed. For world pillars pierce not just the earth, but the heavens as well, linking past, present, and future alike. If we're able to counter the world pillars, which is the main advantage of all three main guilds, then that would be incredible. Sanzo sees no way out of the situation without a fight, so reluctantly he raises his Seiko effect up high. Sanzo! Do pardon my rudeness, but would you mind not interfering for a spell? I'd like to see Sanzo's sacred artifact in action. Baphomet coldly, fluidly places themselves in Bohemia's way, just as he's about to jump in and provide aid to Sanzo. Sanzo, please do allow me to fill in the blanks for you about Kokopelli. He is the product of technology from the future world of Utopia, fused with that of other worlds, the latest model cyborg. His fortune stretches from beyond the future, yet he has nonetheless been granted a future transplant as well. Which means, in theory, that in any death game, against any opponent, it may quite literally be impossible for him to lose. I see. I'd be very interested in to have you show me what you could possibly accomplish when facing off against a foe like that. I'm not sure what exactly the consequence is when it comes to him having both memories of the future as well as having technology from the future. They're saying that's the latest tech, just a combination of the two, but is that somehow related? Probably. That sacred artifact of yours repels the future transplant, which I do find to be quite the fascinating development. Oh, you do you? Well, that's just peachy, because I still have no idea what the hell you're even talking about. Sanzo is all too aware that every opponent he faces off against will inevitably get the same treatment from him. As a matter of course, he can neither throw a punch nor deceive his foes, which leaves him with only one option, no matter the confrontation. Engrave my name of Sanzo Minorikawa onto thee. Temptation? Refutation! What did he mean by this?
Him!
Are we already debuffed? Alright, I think it happens when phase starts, so yeah, it's fine. Alright, each and die!
Him!
That's good luck. No. Oh, it's like that, I see. It can't be serious. Alright, part 3 of Time Limit, which is going to be in a tall map featuring Algernon. And it features some coins, and we don't have a choice. Let me just clear my start a bit. Sorry guys, voice acting is tough work for your throat and for your sinuses. Alright, Nomad, let's do it. The ultimate rematch where Nomad finally wins? Maybe? Sanzo Minorikawa is the guild master of the Sakusa Guild Gurus based out of Taito Ward. Unlike other sacred artifacts, however, the scriptures he bears do not afford him any powerful rules, but rather restrict what he's permitted to do. No harming others, no lies or deceptions, no coveting, no promiscuity or untoward behavior, nor forfeiture of self-control or of agency, even in death. Forfeiture of self-control or agency, even in death? It's the 5 precepts of Buddhism, but taken to the extremes, with many additional stipulations and prohibitions on top of them. Oh yeah, no wonder why they compared him to a Buddha. Including some oddly specific and questionable ones, such as no thinking about the future. Really? I need to Google this after if I remember. The sacred artifact's effects apply to all who've come into direct contact with it, so for Sanzo, it is compulsory to have it in his possession at all times. I see, so everyone's forced to take up his own taboos on himself. Ultimately, this means he must avoid the taboos outlined within these scriptures at all costs, even if doing so proves fatal. But with the app loaded to help keep him safe, Sanzo looks up to the sky and reflects upon the precepts that bind him. Sure doesn't seem like it's going to be a walk and park around here, does it? There was a time when the Sakusa neighborhood Sanzo inhabited was, frankly, a rather rough place to live. Characters who looked like they'd leapt right out of a fairy tale always seem to be fighting with one another by the roadside. And whenever Sansa would go to interfere, he'd wind up in such a sorry state that words couldn't even do it justice. Sansa hates pain, so he always seeks to live in peace with those around him as best as he can. Ugh. He installed the app solely to protect himself from harm, since his secret artifact certainly isn't of much help to that end. So his involvement in tense situations is usually the result of him seeing a rockin' road, so to speak, and feeling he has no choice but to move it. It's written in the scriptures that one must show compassion towards others in all matters. So whenever a fight breaks out, Sansa simply cannot look the other way, but must do what he can to quell the disturbance peaceably. Oh. It's likely that even Matsumi doesn't fully grasp the ramifications of this. So he's intentionally going there. Not like accidentally. Huh? That was a pretty cool 3D animation for a second. And so again and again, Sansa puts himself in harm's way, and again, he suffers more pain than anyone else may know. Yet it's precisely because of this perceived selflessness that Sansa has been made Guildmaster of the Asakusa Gurus. The sprite animations are so genius. They are, yeah. I mean, they've been doing it for like 8 years now, so I'm sure they've improved their techniques for making it look a bit more lively. In his head, he couldn't help but think to himself, "No, I don't want this. I must decline." To be put in such a position could only lead to even more intense suffering, so much so that death could be a real possibility. Even now, Sansa Minorikawa doesn't understand how things got to this point. It's as though the people around him are oblivious, as every time he declined, he somehow found himself even more strongly advocated for. His newfound popularity was downright frightening. Yet, should this blessed understanding come to light, he fears he could be the subject of backlash unlike any he's ever faced before. Weird, strange-ass music for playing. Desert Journey looking ass. Aren't firearms against the law? How the hell did things get up to this point? That's just like Sansa's luck, or lack thereof. He winds up in a situation like this so often it's practically another Tuesday to him now. But this certainly is something else, being dragged away to who knows where and forced to stand up to the absolute scariest of opponents. Still, he really is used to it at this point, and in the end, no matter who his opponent is, maybe Sansa has but one recourse available to him. The key to victory is exposing others to his scriptures. If he can get his opponents to touch the sacred artifact, that and that alone will win the fight. Should his opponent come in contact with it, he would be forced to abide by its precepts, including the one forbidding all harm against others. But what Sansa does not realize is just how many people the opponent, who now stand before him, has slaughtered. Kokopillia is his name, and he's modified an insectoid. He's born an ordinary Tokyoid, but was heavily experimented on and possessed by the spirit of a lucky grasshopper transient. He was just, oh, no wonder why he's a Tokyoid. So that's how he was able to be implanted with memories in the first place, because transients can't, but Tokyoids can. Does that mean there are no transients in the future? That's something to think about. The transient possessing him comes from the world of the Great Spirit and represents a very specific faith. The grasshopper playing its flute is seen as a bearer of good fortune. But once the insect departs, so too does the luck it brought, with ill omens befalling those left behind. So this is actually two entities as well. It's both the native Tokyoid as well as Kokopilli. Additionally, should the grasshopper play its flute directly into the earth, it's a shotgun flute, that is, the ground onto which the melody is imparted and the lives of all who dwell upon it are instantly forfeit. Even against the strongest of opponents with the most robust rules, a single face-off against Kokopilli is all it takes to suffer the ultimate defeat and depart Spilled Will. Jeez, all this on a 4-star, huh? Former researchers at the now-defunct Tokyo Laboratory regarded this as a form of probability manipulation and considered it the very key to a future breakthrough. And onto this already powerful specimen, the rule makers imparted even more future memories by way of the transplant surgery. Now, Kokopelli's attacks are not just deadly, but preemptive. His opponents are assured to lay down their lives before the fight even begins. Sanzo brandishes the sacred artifact with the intent to expose his opponent to it. Rip, bozo. Yeah, I figured that'd be the outcome, despite what the battle looked like. But before he can take even the first step closer, his body is unavoidably pierced by a bullet that strikes him square and true. This outcome was known before the fight even began. Well, right, so there should be no one in Tokyo faster on the draw than Kokopelli. Time is his friend, and none can delve deeper or more readily into the future than he. But we're gonna play as Algernon now. Seriously, this background is not appropriate. This was a chapter 13 specific thing. This is an exception in the background. That's why those are hands on the buildings. That's supposed to be Ramu, aka actually it's supposed to be Ramu as well as Leviathan. Or Isaac as a whole thing in general. This does not make sense as a background. All around the Tokyo station, world representatives clash with one another as the warmongers and invaders join forces against the rule makers. Into this fray steps Onion Capone, world representative Housamo. Onion Capone, so nice of you to join us. Things seem to have gotten rather lively around the portal in our absence, but things also tend to change rather quickly. Yeah, where the fuck's Shinya? He's supposed to be like the one that balances the tables, right? But like Shinya's not even like I don't know. He's back at like Shinya's patisserie, serving coffee. The game master's will intervene soon, at which point a ceasefire will no doubt be declared. By then, the clock should just have about run out for my sibling and that little fancy free mega lines. Seriously, I'm just like, why are you fighting? Why are you fighting? I have no idea why these guys are still fighting. Like, what is their deal? No matter, Algernon continues their intense fight, rapidly switching locations with each blow. Well, I think they gave the reason, but like, I don't know. Does it have to be like fighting directly against each other? Nomad has many other places he could be fighting right now, not specifically Algernon. You're looking a bit worse for wear. Do you still intend to resist us, detective? Or are you gonna take that cue and give in? Shut the hell your mouth! You may be strong, but you're pushing yourself just as much as I am. Starting to decelerate now, huh? But it's not so easy, being the newest model after all. With this cooling device overheating, the inevitable slowing of Algernon's augmentations is beginning to take effect. I'm never going back to the way it was before. Never! That really is personally motivated. A memory of the past from before he received the intelligence acceleration surgery briefly flashes through Algernon's mind. Everyone was always making fun of him. He took so long to process information, people would constantly laugh at him behind his back, and he wouldn't even realize it. I believe that was, in fact, the original story about files for Algernon. And the worst part is, he didn't even realize it. He was too slow on the uptake to even notice that he was being made fun of. That's sad. People would even play tricks on him. They'd pull the wool on over his eyes, but he just kept smiling and falling for it, oblivious to everything. The first real friend he made was a mouse, and he ultimately underwent the same experimentation as that mouse. It was then, after receiving the intelligence acceleration surgery, that his mind soared and he instantly became aware of what was happening around him. Even though he hadn't picked up on it this whole time, it suddenly clicked in his mind just how malicious, how cruel everyone around him had been up until now. And Jesus Christ, sorry Algernon. People suck. They really suck. They all seemed so foolish to him in that moment. He began to see the naive happiness he felt before as a crutch and bereft hatred in its place. Now, time's almost up, and he's on the cusp of reverting back to his ignorant yet happy old self. And that thought terrifies him. He doesn't want to go back. Not after finally gaining the ability to survive and even thrive within this society. That's why he joined forces with the rule makers. But should he fail to get results, there's no place for him there either. No matter what he has to give up, he wants to continue to surpass others. He's willing to offer himself up whatever surgery he needs to make that happen, ethical or otherwise. With a mighty war cry, Algernon charges at Nomad. Here, I thought you were just playing tough, but it seems you've got some guts in you after all, cleaner. Though already worn down from the acceleration, Nomad perseveres, rekindling the flame for another round. And so that he can deliver the intel he's gathered to the Mega Alliance of Guilds, to you and your friends, knowing you are somewhere to be found beyond. If this were a speed competition, I'd gladly concede to you, Algernon. But there's more to it than that. I guess it's about perseverance too. Ugh. It's a mortal wound without question, but Capelli got the jump on Sanzo, and the shot was clean and precise, however. Sanzo, undeterred even by his own demise, charges on, rapidly drawing closer to his would-be assassin. Where scriptures state that even that he must display no forfeiture of self-control or agency, even in death. If this were a typical app battle, Sanzo would have been declared dead many times over by now. It's happened before, and is the reason he's generally thought of as useless in guild fights. But here and only here, in a proper battle zone, Sanzo is compelled to keep moving even after his life is lost. Or rather, a better way to put it, Sanzo Minorikawa, in this moment, is incapable of dying. And so, with one final push, Sanzo's scriptures are brought in full contact with Kokobelli's body. Engrave my name of Algernon onto thee. Mechanical Bouquet! Oh yeah, Bouquet. I wonder if it's related to the new gens. Well, I guess it's pretty much the same technology of transplantation of the future. Well, Algernon doesn't have future memories, but yeah. Sorry, but I'm afraid you and I aren't headed the same way. Burning bright! Why are we? Oh yeah, we're playing as Nomad now, I believe. Alright, let's kill his ass. Yeah, I guess we're just gonna go ahead and do this so we can hop back. Oh no, he's chasing after us. Get away from me. Get away from me! Just casually have evasion every time, I guess. It's just that easy. I wish they would make their scripted battles at least a bit more challenging. Like, I don't know, have some lose condition, don't make them impossible. Or impossible to lose, rather. I remember those days clearly, stuffed into a prison cell alone and left to my own devices. Feeling trapped and helpless, I began to hallucinate that I had an accomplice in there with me. I figured I just lost my marbles, but that hallucination had some warmth to it. I've come so far since then, yet I still remember those days so clearly. What was he said? Oh. Oh no, this is definitely Nomad. What was it he said to me, Cleaner? That none of us knows what the future has in store? That ain't quite right though. I got places to be. Even if they wind up just being momentary illusions. Cyborgs have only one directive: to sacrifice anything and everything it takes within themselves in order to keep up the pace and move forward. That's how Algernon sees it, at least. I guess those mobs are just straight up designed after Algernon, now I think about it. That's an interesting character pick to do it for. But I guess it's very lore related. Yet he carries the weight with him, so heavy that it's convinced him he cannot win. He thinks back to where it is he's been striving to reach all this time. Those are the sorts of motivating factors that determine victory or defeat, after all. And in the spur of the moment, as blow connect, Algernon finds himself shielding his helmet. Oh, he's naked now. Okay, if you say so. Was he protecting his mouse companion? If he hadn't done that, it could have ended in a jar right then and there, but with Nomad on the ground for sure. Damn you! Did you just? No, never mind. Without another word, Nomad takes advantage of this opportunity to run off on his way, intent on delivering his intel to the Mega Alliance of Guilds. I feel like this is the first time they showed him have his 3-star, have his clothes burn off. I'm pretty sure he battled him in the Berserkers too, and his clothes didn't burn off, so obviously. The moment the scriptures touched Kokopelli's body, a blinding light envelops them both. So-and-so! Kokopelli takes his head in both his hands and screams into the distance. Whoa, what's going on? Ew. Rest in peace, Vargo. Saying that should about cover all the niceties. It's now time for us to take our leave. Niceties? Niceties? I'm not sure how you pronounce that. Miniaki smiles as he says this, observing his former companions from the agents depart from the scene with the Varga in tow. I was hoping we could get Mr. Arsalan of Daikanyama out as well, but I suppose I'll have to wait for next time. Hang in there. Oh, come now. Do you really think I'll allow you to escape so easily? Yes, I do. With your back to Mr. Arsalan, there's only so far you can go at the moment. Isn't that right? Yeah, he's aware Arsalan's there across the world most likely, but he probably just knows he can't get to him either way. He probably knows he can hear too. See, the Mega Alliance of Guilds received some key intel just a short while ago. Changed up our target a bit. There's a time limit after all, isn't there? Time limit. This is the theme of this episode. I wonder what this restriction is. A restriction of sorts. Not just on us, but on you as well. Is it both Algernon and Nomads now? That much is clear to see, Israfil, even without being able to peer into the future. That scuffle we had in the middle of a proper greeting made it clear that your sacred artifact isn't quite living up to its potential. Should have been quick to dispatch the likes of me, being a non-combatant. Could be you were prevented from harming us locals. What was your superior's name again? Mikhail. Was he the one who gave the order? Oh, look at that face. So scary. Now, if you'll excuse me. Though, let's be sure to do this one again once we've got our companion back. Ooh, he made Easterfield eat shit. That's funny. Alright, so the time limit seems to be related to the technologies between... Well, you know, if Nomad has a time limit, and Algernon has a time limit, it seems most likely the case that, what's it called? Kokopelli also has a time limit, given their technologies. Does Nomad have a time limit? I guess not really, but I don't know, he's weaker than Algernon at least. Anyway, the next one is going to be continued tomorrow. It's called Accelerating Beyond the Pale. We'll review the notes or the details of the quest battle from there. Hey, look at that! I actually unlocked a new, what's it called quest? What's this called? A free quest. You know what? Sure, why not? Let's do it. As a bonus, not that it matters at this point. We can casually talk about how this event went on, since I'm trying to cut back on my yapping anyways. Might as well do it during this session. So let's go ahead and bring ourselves in Envari and fucking give this a first attempt with our Blossom Booster. Liking the story so far? Yeah, I'm liking it too. Hopefully I can win this with just double Envari Kyoma again. I'm doing it blind. I have no idea what this is about. I've been spoiled about every free quest mechanics before. I am not spoiled of these ones besides these ones being supposedly easy. Alright, so they all have stigma. Very scary. Scary. Yeah, doing it. Why are they playing this fucking music, man? There's like so much good chapter 15 music. It's like the best chapter with the best music, and they're playing this like ass chapter 15, chapter 13 music, like one of the worst themes ever. And it was already being playing for the seat. You gotta be fucking kidding me. I'm actually mad. What the fuck is this trash? Alright. Wow, this is definitely a blossom farm. Yeah, that's it's pretty yucky. Fuck is that? Alright, anyway, that's kind of extremely depressingly bad for a free quest farm. This is something I look forward to all year, you know, and that's it. Jesus Christ. Anyways, yeah. So that's it today, cuties, for today's playthrough of the next 2 episodes, for episodes 3 and 4. We'll be continuing the next 2 episodes tomorrow, as per usual, starting 7 p.m. ET, as per usual, like today. And I will briefly give my thoughts and maybe a summary. Not too much though. Trying to come down. I have no idea. Yap. What did I think? More clarification on their plans, because as much as they clarified their plans when it came to their 2-pronged strategy in the last batch of episodes, in this one, they're clarifying what the rule makers' general connection between their strategy as well as their philosophy is, between, you know, tutelage and what's called authority, and how it relates to this new plan of doing future memories, with some vague help from Utopia, which, you know, apparently chapter 16 still has not released their, what's called world representative. Probably gonna be some sort of a new divine unit for chapter 16 part 2, but we'll see. But yeah, free quest is bogus. I'm not even gonna talk about that. I'm not even gonna deign about that. Bohemia Sod was cool, about the whole 5 precepts of Buddhism thing. And I guess the number one thing I liked about this section was just that eerie way of how they can exploit large numbers to make someone feel or gain the full confidence of someone. Just by duping thousands of people, you can trick them from a coin toss such that one is lucky all the way through all those thousands of trials, and you can then at that point deceive them into believing any sort of truth that will happen in the future. But yeah, that's quite an interesting trick of the hat, I guess. Anyway, I'll just leave it at that. Good chapter so far. Looking forward to how it progresses, and looking forward to Mikhail and Amatra, etc. Because, you know, I did practice everyone's voices, and Kokopelli is not just the kind of one who's mind broken constantly. We'll see, though. Yeah. That's all for now, cuties. I will catch you all next time. Peace.